Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday or video 3 of week 2 of your distance learning. I hope this week is going by good for you. Excuse me. This is a midweek check. We're going to start 5.5 today, and we're talking about percents, fractions, and decimals. And today's video is going to be hopefully a review for you on how to convert between percents and decimals as percents. So hopefully this is something that you remember from 5th grade, and so it's kind of a little refresher. There won't be any assignment that goes along with this particular video today, so use today as a catch-up day, and or you can keep moving forward. Tomorrow we'll talk about the new material, which is converting fractions into percents and percents into fractions. Okay, so let's start with this part. When we talk about percents, fractions, and decimals, those are 3 different ways that we can write a number. So for example, if I have 1/2, 1/2 can also be written as 50%. And it can also be written as 0.50. So those 3 different numbers there all represent the same value. All have the same value. 1/2 is the same thing as saying 50%, which is the same thing as saying 0.50. So really today's lesson is going to be talking about how do we get from percents to decimals and how do we get from decimals to percents. And then, like I said, tomorrow we'll be talking about how to convert that into fractions. So today's just should be a review. So example 1, writing percents as decimals. When you have a percent, so for example, we'll start with A, 40%. To write this as a decimal, you are doing the same thing as dividing by 100. You are taking 40 and you are dividing by 100. And now an easy trick to do that, so you're not actually needing to use a calculator or needing to write it out to the side, 40 divided by 100. All you need to do is move the decimal 2 places to the left. So in the number 40%, there is an implied decimal right here after the 0. If there's no decimal in your number, it's always after the ones place. Okay, so the 0 is in the ones place. So you're going to take this decimal and you're going to move it 1, 2 places to the left. So 40% is the same thing as 0.40. I'm just taking the decimal and moving it 2 places to the left. We'll try another one. How about 5%? Okay, follow the rule. The rule states you're dividing by 100 or simply moving the decimal 2 places to the left. So if my decimal is right here after the ones place, I have to move it 1, 2. If there's nothing there, you will always fill it with a 0. So 5% is the same thing as saying 0.05. Okay? How about 10%? I'm going to take my decimal, and I'm going to move it 2 places to the left, and I'm going to get 0.10. Hopefully you're seeing a pattern here. And how about 37.5%? This has a decimal already in it that's visible. They all have decimals. They're just implied if it's not there. Okay, but this one is 37.5. So I'm taking it where it is and I'm moving it 2 places to the left. So I'm left with 0.375. You have to remember to have all your digits. You don't necessarily have to have, for example, this 0 or this 0. 0.4 is the same thing as 40%. 0.1 is the same thing as 10%. So just keep that in mind. Over to example 2, writing decimals as percents. So you can think of this as being the opposite. If you start with a decimal and you want to turn it into a percent, you have to multiply by 100. Okay, so multiplying by 100 is the same thing as moving the decimal 2 places to the right now. Okay, so for A, if I have 0.47 and I want to make this a percent, now I'm going to go towards the right. If I'm going to the right, I'm multiplying. 1, 2. And I get 47%. How about 0.663? I'm going to take my decimal, I'm going to go 2 places to the right, and I'm left with 66.3%. And then C, 1.2. I need to move 2 places to the right. 1, 2. There's nothing there. I need to fill it in. So I'm going to put a 0 there, and it is going to be 120%. Okay? If you have any questions about that, again, this should be review, but please, please, please let me know. Not being in the classroom is very hard for me to know if you're struggling or not. Okay? So I need you to communicate with me and let me know what's happening. And you are all set for Wednesday. Like I said today, make sure you answer the mid-check question, but that's all the assignments that I have on for this particular day scheduled. But you can always catch up or go ahead if you please. All right, until next time.